Hey guys, welcome back to Atarian News Channel, where we make open source technology easy to understand, especially for beginners and for developers who want to build smarter tools faster. In today's episode, we're going to talk about something powerful, simple, and super useful, especially if you're working with customer data. It's called Pontoon, Pontoon. But hold on, there's a translation platform made by Mozilla that goes by the same name, but we are not talking about that. This is a completely different Pontoon. This one is an open source tool that helps you sync your data directly to your customers' data warehouses, and you can host it yourself. If you're building a SaaS product, managing customer analytics, or just tired of sending CSVs and building APIs, then this tool might just change the game for you. Let me break it down from the beginning. So, even if you're new to data tools or backend infrastructure, you'll understand how it works. Pontoon is a platform you run on your own server or in the cloud. Its job is simple. It takes data from your internal database like Postgres or BigQuery and sends that data to your customer's warehouse like Snowflake, Redshift, or BigQuery on their end. It does this automatically, reliably, and on a schedule you can control. Now, you might as well ask, why is this useful? Well, imagine you run a SaaS product, let's say a time tracking tool or an e commerce dashboard. Your customers often want to download their raw data so they can run reports, use BI tools, or combine it with their own internal systems. Usually, that means you either have to build an API for them, give them some sort of download feature, or even worse, send them spreadsheets manually. That takes one hell of a time, it's prone to errors, and it doesn't scale as you grow. Pontoon solves that problem. You just tell Pontoon which data you want to share, and it does the rest. Once it is set up, it keeps everything in sync behind the scenes. Your customers always get up to date data in their own warehouse without you having to build custom exports or deal with support tickets asking for reports. Here's how the basic flow works. First, you connect Pontoon to your internal data source. This might be a production Postgres database or a data warehouse like BigQuery. Next, you define which data you want to export. You can point to tables directly, or better yet, you can use dbt models. Those are transformed analytics ready data modules that many teams use. Then you invite your customer. Okay, they provide access to their own destination warehouse like Snowflake or Redshift. Once connected, Pontoon takes care of syncing the data from your warehouse to theirs, and that too automatically. And it keeps syncing it every hour or whatever schedule you choose. That's up to you. What's really cool is how it moves data. Pontoon uses a tool called Apache Arrow under the hood. That means data transfers are fast and efficient even when dealing with millions of rows. The platform is built with Python, so it's easy to understand if you're a developer, and it runs inside Docker containers, which means getting started on your local machine or server is very straightforward. The setup process isn't complicated. If you have Docker installed, you can clone the GitHub repository, run a single Docker compose command, and you'll have Pontoon running locally. You can log into the web interface, connect your data sources, and try it out. Of course, for production environments, you'd want to host it in the cloud, set up SSL, and connect to secure databases and maybe monitor it using logs and metrics. But for learning and testing, the local setup works perfectly. Let's say your company uses dbt to clean and organize data. You might have a model called monthly underscore user underscore activity that calculates active users for each customer. With Pontoon, you could share just that model and only that with each customer. That means you're not getting raw logs or half finished data. They get exactly the final data set they need and nothing else. That's great for data privacy, and it's also much more professional. Another important feature is that Pontoon supports multiple tenants. That means if you have 10 or even 100 customers, you don't have to install Pontoon for each one. You just use the built in web interface to manage them all from a single dashboard. It also has retry logic, by which I mean that if a sync fails, maybe the customer's warehouse is down, well, in that case, it'll try again later, and that too automatically. Now, you might be wondering how Pontoon compares to tools like Fivetran, Airbyte, or HighTouch. Those tools are great, but many of them are commercial products. They can be expensive, have usage limits, or require your data to go through their systems. With Pontoon, everything runs in your environment. You own it, you manage the security. You're not sending data through a third party vendor, which is often a requirement for industries like finance, healthcare, or even governments. Also, because it's open source, you can tweak and customize it however you like. Want to change how customer invites work, add a new type of destination, change the scheduling logic? You can do all of that. And the code is written clearly in Python, which makes it very accessible. If you are not a backend expert, don't worry. The documentation is easy to follow. The community is growing, and because it uses common tools like Docker, Postgres, and Redis, you'll find that most of the setup is familiar. Even if you're new to this space, this could be a great way to learn how modern data sync and infrastructure actually work. So, to sum it all up, Pontoon lets you share your internal data with your customers without building custom pipelines or worrying about how to scale them. It works with the tools you already use. It's self hosted so you stay in control, and it's built to be fast, secure, and simple to run. If that sounds like something your company could use, or you just want to explore your data syncing really works, I recommend giving Pontoon a try. I have put a full setup guide and all the important links down there in the description box below. That's it for today's episode on the Ataria News channel. If you found this helpful, hit the like button, subscribe for more beginner friendly open source tools. Until then, keep building smart, keep it open, and like always, I'll see you again in the next one.